What if the feeling in your legs is not just fatigue, not just age, but a signal your body is already changing? Most people don't think about blood flow. They don't notice it. They don't feel it directly. Till something changes. Cold feet, heaviness, weakness, tingling. And at first, it feels small, harmless, easy to ignore. You think, it's just circulation. It's just because I sat too long. It's normal at my age. But what if it's not? What if your legs are already losing proper blood flow? Because here's the truth. Poor circulation doesn't start suddenly. It builds, quietly, slowly, over time. And the early signs are the only stage where you can notice it. Today, we're going to talk about the early signs your legs may not be getting enough blood. These are subtle, easy to miss, but extremely important. And one of these signs is something millions of people feel every single day without realizing what it means. Let's begin. One of the earliest signs is something many people ignore completely. Cold feet. Not just when it's cold outside, not just temporary, but consistently. You may notice your feet feel cold, even in warm conditions, even indoors, even when the rest of your body feels normal. You touch them, and they feel colder than they should. This is not random. It's often one of the first signals that blood is not reaching the extremities efficiently. Because when circulation is reduced, the body prioritizes vital organs. The feet receive less. Now here's something important. Most people don't take this seriously. They think, it's just how my body is. But persistent coldness is not something to ignore. Another early sign is a feeling of heaviness in the legs. You may feel your legs are tired, your legs feel heavy, movement requires more effort, even without physical activity. You wake up, and your legs already feel different. Just are not painful, but not normal. This happens because muscles rely on oxygen. And when blood flow decreases, oxygen delivery decreases. And when that happens, muscles feel heavier, slower, less responsive. Now here's something many people overlook. Another sign is tingling or numbness. A light sensation, like pins and needles. Not strong, not painful, but noticeable. May come and go. You may feel it in your feet, in your toes, sometimes in your lower legs. At first, you ignore it. You say, I must have sat wrong. But when it keeps coming back, it's not random. It's a signal. Because nerves depend on blood flow. And when circulation decreases, nerve signals change. Now, let's go deeper. Another sign is something subtle, but very important. Changes in skin color. You may notice your feet look pale, or slightly bluish, or uneven in tone. This is not just cosmetic. Circulation. Because blood gives skin its color. When blood flow is reduced, that color changes. Now imagine this, you look at your feet and something looks different. Not dramatic, but not normal. It's a signal. Another early sign is slow healing. Small cuts, small scratches, take longer to heal. You may notice wounds stay longer, skin recovers slower, minor injuries linger. This happens because healing depends on blood. Blood carries oxygen, nutrients, repair signals. Without proper circulation, healing slows down. Now, here's something very important. This sign is often ignored completely because it doesn't feel urgent, but it's one of the clearest indicators. Another sign is muscle cramps, especially in the calves. You may feel tightness, sudden cramps, discomfort during movement. Sometimes during walking, sometimes at rest. And this happens because muscles are not receiving enough oxygen. When that happens, they react. Now pause for a moment. Look at the pattern. Cold feet, heaviness, tingling, color changes, slow healing, cramps. Understood, each one feels small. But together, they tell a story. Your legs are not receiving enough blood. Now let's understand what's really happening. Blood flow is responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body, including your legs. When circulation is normal, everything works smoothly. A movement is easy, muscles respond, skin looks healthy. But when circulation begins to decrease, even slightly, everything changes. Suddenly, that is interior, but gradually. And that's why people don't notice it. Because it feels normal. Till it's not. Now think about this. What if the symptoms you feel right now are early signs? What if your body is already telling you something? Because your body always communicates. Through sensation, through change, through patterns. And the question is, are you paying attention? If you take one thing from this part, let it be this. Persistent changes in your legs are not random. Eigenpressung, their signals. And early signals are the most important. Now here's something most people don't realize. Poor circulation does not stay the same. It progresses. What begins as something small can become something serious. But the change is slow, so slow that people adjust to it. They get used to the feeling, they accept it, they say it's normal. But over time, the signals become stronger. Let's continue. Another important sign is pain when walking that disappears with rest. You may notice, when you walk, your legs begin to hurt, not immediately, but after some distance. Then you stop, you rest. The pain fades. This pattern is extremely important because it shows that your muscles are not receiving enough blood during activity. When you move, demand increases, but supply does not. That creates pain. This is one of the clearest signs of reduced blood flow. Another sign is increased swelling in the lower legs. You may notice your legs feel heavier, your ankles look swollen, your skin feels tight. This often appears at the end of the day. And many people think, I've just been standing too long. But swelling is not random. It often reflects problems in circulation. Now let's go deeper. Another important sign is skin becoming thinner or more fragile. You may notice your skin bruises easily. It looks different. It feels weaker. This happens because blood supports tissue health. And when circulation decreases, the structure begins to change. Another sign is loss of hair on the legs. This is something many people don't connect. But hair growth depends on blood supply, and when circulation is reduced, hair may thin or disappear. Now here's something very important. Another sign is pain at rest. First, pain only appears during movement. But over time, it may begin to appear even when you are not moving. This is a more advanced signal, because it means circulation is not enough, even at rest. Now pause again. Look at the full picture. Cold feet, heaviness, tingling, color changes, slow healing, cramps, pain when walking, swelling, skin changes, hair loss, pain at rest. This is not random. This is a pattern. Progression. Now let's understand what is happening inside the body. Blood vessels carry blood to your legs. For time, these vessels can change. They can narrow, they can stiffen, they can lose flexibility. And when that happens, blood flow decreases. Not completely, but enough to create symptoms. Now imagine this. Pathway that used to be open becomes narrower. The air flow becomes slower. And when demand increases, it cannot keep up. That's when symptoms appear. Now here's something very important. This process often develops over years, not days, which is why people don't notice it, because it feels gradual, normal, till it starts affecting daily life. Now think about this. What if the heaviness you feel is not just fatigue? What if the coldness is not just temperature? What if the tingling is not just how you sat? What if all of these are connected? Because your body rarely sends random signals. It sends patterns. Patterns tell a story. Now let's talk about risk, because this is where attention becomes critical. Reduced blood flow does not only affect comfort, it affects function. And over time, it can increase risk. When circulation is poor, healing slows down. Movement becomes harder, and the body becomes more vulnerable. Now here's something important. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. Because awareness is what allows you to notice early. And early is where change is possible. Now let's make this simple. Ask yourself, do my feet feel cold often? Do my legs feel heavy? Do I feel tingling or numbness? Do I notice swelling? Do I feel pain when walking? Do I feel less stable than before? If several of these are true, It's not something to panic about, but it is something to notice. Now let's be clear. Not every symptom means something serious. But patterns matter. Frequency matters. Progression matters. Something is increasing, if something is becoming more frequent, if something is changing. That's when attention becomes important. Now here's the most important part of this video. Early signs are the only stage where you can recognize the pattern easily. Because later, the changes become stronger, more limiting, more noticeable. By that point, more has already changed. That's why small signals matter, because they are the beginning. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Changes in your legs are not something to ignore, because your body is not just aging. It is changing. I saw again those changes. Start small. Your body is always communicating. Through sensation, through discomfort, through patterns. The question is, are you paying attention? If you found this video helpful, stay with our channel. We explain important health signals in simple, clear ways so you can recognize problems early. And in the next video, we'll talk about something just as important: what you can do daily to improve blood flow in your legs. Make sure to stay with us so you don't miss it.